Marcus was already 20 minutes late to pick up his son when he heard the screaming. A gunman was robbing a mother and her 5-year-old daughter on the busy street. Everyone else walked away. But when the little girl's terrified eyes met his, Marcus knew he couldn't abandon them. Before watching full story, comment below from where you watching. Also like and subscribe for more stories. The sound of screeching tires filled the busy street as Marcus Thompson rushed across the intersection. His 7-year-old son Tyler was waiting for him at the daycare center, and Marcus was already 20 minutes late. His construction job had run over again, and he knew Tyler would be one of the last kids waiting. Marcus had been raising Tyler alone for 4 years now, ever since his wife died from cancer. Every day was a struggle to balance work, parenting, and trying to keep their small apartment. But Tyler was his whole world, and Marcus would do anything to make sure his son had a good life. As Marcus hurried down the sidewalk, he heard shouting ahead. A woman was screaming and a little girl was crying. Marcus looked up and saw something that made his heart stop. A man in a dark hoodie was trying to grab a woman's purse right in front of a school. The woman was holding tight to a small girl, maybe 5 years old, who was crying and scared. The man was getting angry and violent. "Just give me the purse," the thief yelled, pulling harder. "Please don't hurt my daughter," the woman begged. Other people on the street were walking away quickly, pretending not to see. No one wanted to get involved. Marcus knew he should probably keep walking too. He had Tyler to think about. If something happened to him, who would take care of his son? But then the little girl looked right at Marcus with tears in her eyes. She reminded him so much of Tyler when he was scared. Marcus couldn't just walk away. The thief was getting more violent. He pushed the woman hard and she fell down on the concrete. The little girl screamed as her mother hit the ground. "Mommy," the child cried. That's when Marcus saw the gun. The thief had pulled out a small pistol and was pointing it at the woman. "I said give me everything," he shouted. Marcus didn't think. He just ran toward them. "Hey," Marcus yelled. "Leave them alone." The thief turned around, surprised. "Stay back, man. This isn't your business." "I'm making it my business," Marcus said, stepping closer. "Put the gun down and walk away." The woman on the ground looked up at Marcus with grateful but terrified eyes. She was pretty, maybe in her late 20s, with long brown hair that was now messy from falling. Her daughter was clinging to her, both of them shaking with fear. "Please help us," the woman whispered. Marcus felt his heart breaking. This mother and daughter needed him just like Tyler needed him every day. The thief was nervous now. He hadn't expected anyone to interfere. "I'll shoot you too," he warned, waving the gun. Marcus put his hands up but kept moving forward slowly. "Listen, just take my wallet and leave. There's no need to hurt anyone." For a moment it seemed like the thief might consider it. But then he got angry again. "No. I want her purse. She looks rich." The woman wasn't rich at all. Marcus could see her clothes were simple and worn, just like his own. She was probably struggling to make ends meet, just like every other single parent in this neighborhood. The thief made his decision. He pointed the gun at the little girl. "If you don't back off, I'll hurt the kid." That's when Marcus knew he had to act. No one was going to threaten a child while he could do something about it. He thought about Tyler, about how scared his son would be in this situation. Marcus lunged forward just as the gun went off. The pain in his chest was immediate and terrible. Marcus felt like he had been hit by a truck. He fell to the ground, gasping for air. But even as he lay there bleeding, he could see that his action had worked. The thief had panicked and run away when the gun fired. The woman crawled over to Marcus, her daughter still clinging to her. "Oh my God. You're hurt. Someone call 911, she screamed. Marcus could barely breathe, but he managed to speak. Are you both okay?" The woman was crying now. Yes, we're okay. But you're bleeding so much. Why did you do this? You don't even know us." Marcus closed his eyes for a moment. The pain was getting worse, but he felt strangely peaceful. "I have a son, Tyler. He's 7. I couldn't let someone hurt you and your daughter." "What's your name?" the woman asked, pressing her hands against his wound to try to stop the bleeding. Marcus Thompson. "I'm Sarah Chin and this is my daughter Lily. Marcus, please stay with us. The ambulance is coming." Little Lily was still scared but not crying anymore. She looked at Marcus with big, serious eyes. "Are you going to be okay, mister?" she asked in a small voice. Marcus managed to smile at her. "I'm going to try, sweetheart." The paramedics arrived quickly. As they worked on Marcus, he could hear Sarah talking to them. "He saved our lives. A man was trying to rob us and had a gun. This man jumped in front of the bullet meant for my daughter." Marcus felt proud even through the pain. He had done the right thing. But now he was worried about Tyler. His son would be so scared if something happened to him. "Sarah," Marcus said weakly as they put him on the stretcher. "I need you to do something for me." "Anything," she said immediately. "My son Tyler, he's at Little Stars Daycare on Oak Street. If something happens to me—" "Nothing is going to happen to you," Sarah said firmly. "But I'll make sure Tyler is taken care of. I promise." As the ambulance drove away, Marcus could see Sarah holding Lily, both of them watching him go. The next few hours were a blur of doctors, surgery, and worried faces. The bullet had missed his heart by inches, but it had done damage to his lung. The doctor said he was lucky to be alive. When Marcus woke up the next morning, the first thing he saw was Tyler sitting in a chair next to his bed. His little boy looked scared but relieved. "Daddy, you're awake," Tyler said, carefully hugging him. "Hey buddy, I'm okay." "Who brought you here?" "The nice lady and her little girl. They've been here all night." Marcus looked around and saw Sarah and Lily sitting in another corner of the room. Sarah looked tired, like she hadn't slept at all. When she saw he was awake, she came over with a gentle smile. "How are you feeling?" she asked softly. "Like I got hit by a truck but alive," Marcus said. "You didn't have to stay here all night." "Yes, I did," Sarah said. "You saved our lives, Marcus. The least I could do was make sure Tyler wasn't alone and scared." Lily peeked out from behind her mother. "Hi, Mr. Marcus. I drew you a picture." She handed him a crayon drawing of a man with a cape, standing in front of a woman and little girl. At the top, in wobbly letters, it said, "My hero." Marcus felt tears in his eyes. "Thank you, Lily. This is the most beautiful picture I've ever seen." Tyler looked at the drawing too. "Are you really a hero, Daddy?" "No, buddy. I just did what any good person would do." Sarah shook her head. "Marcus, what you did was incredibly brave. You could have been killed." Over the next few days, Sarah visited Marcus every day. She brought Tyler snacks and helped him with his homework when Marcus was too tired to focus. She also brought Lily, who had decided that Marcus was the coolest person in the world. Marcus learned that Sarah was indeed a single mother, just like he was a single father. Lily's dad had left when she was a baby, and Sarah worked 2 jobs to make ends meet. She was a waitress at a diner during the day and cleaned offices at night. "It's hard, isn't it?" Marcus said one evening when the kids were playing together in the hospital room. "Doing it all alone." Sarah nodded. "Some days I wonder if I'm enough for her. She needs so much and I can barely afford the basics." "I know exactly what you mean," Marcus said. "But look at Lily. She's happy and kind and smart. That's because of you." Sarah smiled. "Tyler is pretty amazing too. You're doing a great job with him." As the days went by, Marcus noticed how well Tyler and Lily got along. Tyler, who was usually shy around new people, was protective of Lily like a big brother. And Lily, who Sarah said was often quiet and scared, was laughing and playing with Tyler like they had been friends forever. "They're good for each other," Sarah observed. "Yeah, they are," Marcus agreed. "Tyler's been so lonely since his mom died. It's nice to see him happy." Sarah looked sad. "I'm sorry about your wife. That must have been so hard." "It was. But we're managing. Tyler keeps me going every day." When Marcus was finally released from the hospital, he was surprised to find Sarah and Lily waiting for him with balloons and a welcome home sign that Lily had made. "We wanted to make sure you got home safely," Sarah explained. But when they got to Marcus's apartment building, they found a notice on his door. Marcus's heart sank as he read it. "What is it?" Sarah asked. "Eviction notice. I missed too much work being in the hospital. I can't pay this month's rent." Tyler looked confused. "What does that mean, Daddy?" Marcus knelt down to his son's level, trying to stay calm. "It means we might have to find a new place to live, buddy." Tyler started to cry. "But I like our home. All my toys are here." Marcus felt like he was drowning. He had risked his life to save Sarah and Lily, and now he couldn't even keep a roof over his own son's head. Sarah was quiet for a moment, then she made a decision. "You're coming to stay with us," she said firmly. "Sarah, I can't ask you to do that." "You're not asking. I'm telling you. You saved our lives, Marcus. Now let me help save yours." "But your apartment is probably too small for all of us." Sarah smiled. "It's small, but it's big enough for a family. And that's what we are now, isn't it? A family." Over the next few weeks, the 4 of them learned to live together. Marcus slept on the couch while Tyler shared Lily's room. It was crowded, but it was full of love and laughter. Marcus found a new job at a different construction company, one that was closer to their apartment. Sarah was able to quit her night cleaning job because Marcus helped with the expenses. The kids thrived in their new arrangement. Tyler helped Lily with her reading, and Lily taught Tyler how to draw. They played together, ate meals together, and even did their homework together. "I've never seen Tyler this happy," Marcus told Sarah one evening after the kids had gone to bed. "Lily is like a different child too," Sarah said. "She's more confident, more outgoing. Having Tyler around has been so good for her." They were sitting on the couch together watching a movie. It felt natural and comfortable, like they had been doing this for years instead of weeks. "Sarah," Marcus said quietly, "I need to ask you something." "What? Why are you really doing all this?" "I mean, I'm grateful, but you don't owe me anything. I did what anyone should have done." Sarah turned to look at him. "Marcus, what you did wasn't what anyone would have done. Most people walked away. You risked your life for strangers. And in the weeks since then, you've been nothing but kind and helpful and wonderful with Lily." She paused, seeming to gather courage. "The truth is, I think I'm falling in love with you." Marcus felt his heart skip a beat. "Sarah, I know it's complicated. I know we both have baggage and responsibilities. But watching you with Tyler, seeing how good you are to Lily, being around you every day, I can't help how I feel." Marcus reached for her hand. "I feel the same way. I have for weeks now. But I'm scared." "Scared of what?" "Scared of messing this up. Scared of Tyler getting attached and then losing another mother figure. Scared that I'm not good enough for you and Lily." Sarah squeezed his hand. "Marcus, you jumped in front of a bullet for us. You're working hard every day to help support our family. You read bedtime stories to Lily and helped Tyler with his math homework. How could you possibly think you're not good enough?" They looked into each other's eyes, and Marcus knew that what he felt was real. This wasn't just gratitude or convenience. This was love. They kissed softly, and it felt like coming home. But their happiness was interrupted by a knock at the door. Sarah looked through the peephole and gasped. "It's the police." Marcus's heart sank. Had something happened? Had they done something wrong? Sarah opened the door to find two officers standing there with serious expressions. "Are you Sarah Chin?" one of them asked. "Yes. We have some news about the man who attacked you and your daughter last month." They all sat down, and the officers explained that they had caught the thief. He had been robbing people all over the city, and Marcus's description had helped them identify him. "He's going to prison for a long time," the officer said. "But there's something else. The district attorney wants to give Mr. Thompson a Citizen's Bravery Award. What he did was remarkable." After the police left, Marcus felt a strange mix of emotions. The man who had threatened Sarah and Lily was in jail, which was good. But the attention from the award made him uncomfortable. "I don't need an award," he told Sarah. "I just did what was right." "I know," Sarah said. "But the whole city should know what kind of man you are." The award ceremony was held at City Hall. Marcus wore his only good suit, which Sarah had helped him pick out. Tyler and Lily sat in the front row, beaming with pride. When the mayor called Marcus to the stage, the whole audience stood up and applauded. Marcus felt embarrassed but also proud. Not because of the award, but because Tyler was looking at him like he was the greatest man in the world. "Marcus Thompson," the mayor said, "you represent the best of our city. When faced with danger, you chose to protect others instead of protecting yourself. You are a true hero." As Marcus accepted the award, he looked out at the audience and saw Sarah wiping away tears. Lily was clapping so hard her hands were probably hurting. And Tyler was grinning from ear to ear. After the ceremony, a reporter approached them. "Mr. Thompson, what made you risk your life for strangers?" Marcus thought about the question seriously. They weren't really strangers. Sarah and Lily were people who needed help, just like my son Tyler and I have needed help at different times. Good people take care of each other. That's how we build a better world for our children. And now you're all living together as a family? Sarah stepped forward and took Marcus's hand. "Marcus isn't just Tyler's father and my protector. He's become the most important person in our lives. We're planning to make this official soon." Marcus looked at her in surprise. They hadn't talked about marriage yet, but Sarah was smiling at him with love in her eyes. That night, after the kids were asleep, Marcus and Sarah sat on their small balcony looking at the stars. "Did you mean what you said to that reporter?" Marcus asked. "About making it official?" "Yes, I did. Marcus, I know we haven't been together very long, but I've never been more sure of anything in my life." Marcus got down on one knee right there on the balcony. "Sarah Chin, you and Lily have made Tyler and me happier than we ever thought we could be again. Will you marry me?" Sarah was crying and laughing at the same time. "Yes. Yes, of course, yes." They were so happy they didn't notice Tyler and Lily peeking out from the apartment door, having been woken up by their excitement. "Are we really going to be a family forever?" Lily whispered to Tyler. "Forever and ever," Tyler whispered back. The wedding was small but perfect. Tyler was Marcus's best man, and Lily was Sarah's maid of honor. The kids had written their own vows to each other about being brother and sister. "I promise to share my toys and help you with homework," Tyler said to Lily. "I promise to draw you pictures and always be your friend," Lily said to Tyler. There wasn't a dry eye in the small church. After the wedding, they moved to a bigger apartment with 2 bedrooms so the kids could each have their own space. But most nights they still ended up sleeping in the same room because they didn't want to be apart. Marcus got promoted at his construction job to supervisor. Sarah was able to quit waitressing and go back to school to become a nurse, something she had always wanted to do. "I feel like I can accomplish anything now," she told Marcus. "Having you and Tyler in our lives has given me strength I didn't know I had." "You've given me the same thing," Marcus replied. "Before I met you I was just surviving. Now I'm living." 1 year after the wedding, Sarah graduated nursing school at the top of her class. Marcus, Tyler, and Lily were in the audience cheering louder than anyone. That night, Sarah had an announcement. "I got a job offer at Children's Hospital," she said. "It's exactly what I wanted to do, help sick kids get better." "That's amazing," Marcus said, hugging her tight. "There's something else," Sarah said with a mysterious smile. "In about 7 months, we're going to need to make room for one more person in this family." It took Marcus a moment to understand what she meant. Are you pregnant?" Sarah nodded, tears of joy in her eyes. "Tyler and Lily are going to have a baby brother or sister." Tyler and Lily screamed with excitement and immediately started planning everything they would teach the baby. When their daughter Emma was born, Tyler and Lily were the most devoted big siblings anyone had ever seen. They helped feed her, played with her, and read her stories. "Look, Emma," Tyler would say, "this is our daddy Marcus. He's a real hero. And this is our mommy Sarah," Lily would add. "She takes care of sick kids and makes them better." As Emma grew, she heard the story of how her parents met many times. How her daddy had saved her mommy and sister from a bad man. How they had all become a family because of love and courage. "Daddy," Emma asked one day when she was 4, "were you scared when you saved mommy and Lily?" Marcus thought about it honestly. "Yes, sweetheart, I was scared. But sometimes being brave means doing the right thing even when you're scared." "Why did you do it?" "Because good people help each other. And because Lily reminded me of Tyler and I couldn't let anyone hurt a little girl." Emma nodded seriously. "I want to be brave like you when I grow up." "You already are brave," Marcus told her. "Every day you're kind to others and stand up for what's right, you're being brave." Years later, when Marcus was 45 and Sarah was 40, they looked back on that terrible day on the street as the best thing that ever happened to them. Not because of the violence but because it brought them together. Tyler grew up to be a police officer, inspired by his father's heroism. Lily became a teacher wanting to help children learn and grow. And Emma followed in her mother's footsteps, becoming a pediatric nurse. All 3 children credited their parents with teaching them that love means protecting the people you care about, even when it's difficult or scary. On their 10th wedding anniversary, Marcus and Sarah returned to the street where they first met. There was now a small memorial garden there, created by the city to honor victims of violence and the people who helped them. "Do you ever regret it?" Sarah asked as they sat on a bench in the garden. "Jumping in front of that bullet?" Marcus took her hand and looked at their 3 children playing together nearby. Tyler was now 21, Lily was 19, and Emma was 10. They were all happy, healthy, and loved. "How could I regret the decision that gave me the most beautiful family in the world?" Marcus said. "That one moment of courage led to a lifetime of happiness." Sarah smiled and leaned against his shoulder. "You know what I realized? You didn't just save Lily and me that day. You saved yourself too. And Tyler. We all saved each other." As the sun set over the memorial garden, Marcus realized that Sarah was right. Sometimes the most important moments in life come when we choose to help others instead of protecting ourselves. Sometimes being willing to sacrifice everything leads to gaining more than we ever imagined possible. Their love story had started with violence and fear, but it had grown into something beautiful and strong. They had built a family based on courage, kindness, and the belief that good people take care of each other. And in their house filled with laughter, homework help, and bedtime stories, Marcus and Sarah proved every day that the best protection anyone can have is a family that loves them unconditionally. Marcus had jumped in front of a bullet to save strangers. But in return, those strangers had become his greatest blessing. Sarah had called him her protector that first day in the hospital. But the truth was they had all become protectors of each other. And they lived happily ever after, protecting and loving each other through all of life's challenges and joys. Marcus often reflected on how one single moment had changed everything. That day on the street, when he made the choice to help strangers, he had no idea he was actually choosing his future family. The bullet scar on his chest became a symbol of love and sacrifice that his children would always remember. When Emma turned 16, she asked her parents to tell the story again at her birthday party. As Marcus and Sarah recounted their meeting, their friends and family listened with tears in their eyes. "The amazing thing," Sarah said to the gathered crowd, "is that Marcus didn't just save our lives that day. He showed us what real love looks like. Love isn't just flowers and romantic dinners. Love is being willing to put yourself in danger to protect someone else." Tyler, now a respected police sergeant, stood up to speak. "My dad taught me that being a hero isn't about having superpowers. It's about making the right choice when it matters most. Even when you're scared, even when it costs you something, you do what's right." Lily, who had become a beloved elementary school teacher, added, "I tell my students about my stepdad all the time. I tell them that families aren't just about blood. Families are about people who choose to love and protect each other every single day." Emma smiled at her parents. "I'm proud to be the daughter of two heroes. Dad, you saved Mom and Lily with your courage. Mom, you saved our whole family with your love and determination to make us a real family." As the party continued, Marcus and Sarah stepped outside for some fresh air. They could hear the laughter and joy from inside their house, filled with 3 generations of family and friends. "Do you remember what you said to me in the hospital?" Sarah asked, taking Marcus's hand. "Which part?" Marcus smiled. "You said you had to save us because Lily reminded you of Tyler, and you couldn't let anyone hurt a little girl. But I think there was more to it than that." Marcus thought for a moment. "You're right. I think somewhere deep down I knew that helping you would change my life. Not because I expected anything in return, but because doing the right thing always changes us for the better." Sarah nodded. "And look what that choice gave us. Not just each other, but 3 amazing children who will go out into the world and make it better because of what they learned from us." They watched through the window as Tyler played with his own young daughter, Marcus and Sarah's first grandchild. Lily was showing Emma's friends some art projects. Emma was helping serve cake to the elderly neighbors they had invited. "They're all so different," Marcus observed, "but they all have that same spirit of helping others. Because they learned it from the best teacher," Sarah said, squeezing his hand. Years later, when Marcus was 60 and Sarah was 55, they decided to write a book about their experience. They wanted other people to know that heroes aren't just people in movies or comic books. Heroes are ordinary people who make extraordinary choices. The book, titled One Moment of Courage, became a bestseller. The proceeds went to help other single parents and families in crisis. Marcus and Sarah traveled around the country, speaking at schools and community centers, sharing their message of hope and courage. At one speaking event, a young single mother approached them after their presentation. "I'm struggling so much," she said through tears. "I work 2 jobs but I can barely pay rent. My son keeps asking why his dad isn't around. Some days I feel like giving up." Sarah immediately hugged the woman. "What's your name, honey?" "Jessica. And this is my son David. He's 6. Marcus knelt down to David's level. "Hey there, David. You know what? You have a really strong mom. She's working hard to take care of you, just like I worked hard to take care of my son Tyler." "Are you really a hero?" David asked shyly. "I'm just a dad who loves his family," Marcus said. "But you know what makes someone a real hero? Never giving up even when things are hard. Your mom is a hero because she keeps fighting for you every day." Jessica started crying harder. "But it's so difficult. I don't know how much longer I can keep this up." Sarah held her hands. "Listen to me, Jessica. 20 years ago I was exactly where you are now. Working multiple jobs, barely making ends meet, wondering if I was enough for my daughter. But sometimes help comes from the most unexpected places." Marcus added, "The most important thing Tyler and I learned is that you don't have to do everything alone. Good people help each other. Let us help you." That night, Marcus and Sarah called their lawyer. Within a week, they had set up a scholarship fund for Jessica's son and helped her find a better-paying job with health insurance. Jessica cried when they told her about the help. "Why are you doing this for us? You barely know us." Marcus smiled. 20 years ago, I didn't know Sarah and Lily either. But they became my family. Sometimes the best things in life come from helping strangers who need it most." This became a pattern for Marcus and Sarah. Wherever they went, they found ways to help struggling families. They understood the challenges of single parenting, the fear of not having enough money, the worry about children's futures. Their own children followed their example. Tyler started a program in his police district to mentor young men without fathers. Lily created an after-school program for children from low-income families. Emma organized medical missions to provide free healthcare for families who couldn't afford it. It's like Dad's courage that day created a ripple effect, Emma told a reporter years later. One act of bravery has helped thousands of people over the years. As Marcus and Sarah entered their golden years, they reflected on the incredible journey their life had taken. What started as a moment of terror and violence had grown into a legacy of love, courage, and service to others. They established the Thompson Foundation, dedicated to helping single parents and their children. The foundation provided everything from emergency financial assistance to college scholarships to job training programs. On Marcus's 65th birthday, the mayor of their city declared it Marcus Thompson Day, in honor of his continued service to the community. But Marcus insisted that it be called Community Heroes Day instead. "I'm not the only hero in this city," he said during the ceremony. "Every single parent working multiple jobs is a hero. Every teacher staying late to help struggling students is a hero. Every neighbor helping another neighbor is a hero. Heroes are all around us." Sarah, now a retired nursing supervisor who had spent her career helping sick children, was recognized alongside Marcus for her decades of service. "Marcus may have saved Lily and me with one moment of courage," Sarah said in her speech that day, "but he's been saving families in this community for over 20 years. That's the real heroism, not just one brave act but a lifetime of choosing to help others." The crowd that day included dozens of families that Marcus and Sarah had helped over the years. Jessica and her son David were there. David was now 26 and a successful engineer, thanks to the scholarship and mentorship he had received. Many other young people stood in that crowd, all of whom had been touched by the Thompson family's generosity and guidance. Tyler, now 42 and a police chief, spoke about his father's influence on his career choice. "My dad taught me that being strong isn't about fighting. It's about protecting people who can't protect themselves. Every day I put on this uniform I think about that lesson." Lily, 40 and a school principal, talked about how witnessing Marcus's sacrifice had shaped her desire to help children. "When I was 5 years old, I saw a stranger risk his life to save me and my mom. That taught me that adults are supposed to take care of children, all children, not just their own. That's why I became an educator." Emma, now 30 and head of pediatrics at the same hospital where her mother had worked, explained how growing up in their family had influenced her career. "I learned that healing isn't just about medicine. It's about showing people that someone cares about them, that they're worth fighting for. My parents showed me that every single day." But perhaps the most touching moment came when a group of teenagers took the stage. They were current recipients of Thompson Foundation scholarships, and they had written a song about Marcus and Sarah's story. "We want to sing this for Mr. Marcus and Mrs. Sarah," said a 17-year-old girl named Maria. "They saved our families when we thought no one cared about us." As the teenagers sang their song about courage, love, and the power of helping others, there wasn't a dry eye in the audience. The lyrics talked about how one man's brave choice had created a wave of kindness that spread through their community for generations. After the ceremony, Marcus and Sarah walked through the memorial garden that had been built on the street where they first met. The garden now had a plaque that read, "In honor of all the everyday heroes who choose courage over fear, love over indifference, and action over apathy." "Do you ever wonder what would have happened if you had just kept walking that day?" Sarah asked as they sat on their favorite bench. Marcus considered the question seriously. "I think about it sometimes. Tyler and I would have had a much lonelier life. You and Lily would have found your way somehow, you're both too strong not to. But we would have missed out on all this love, all this family, all the people we've been able to help together." Sarah smiled. "I used to have nightmares about that day for months afterward. But now when I think about it, I only remember the good parts. How brave you were, how you chose to help us even though you didn't know us, how it brought us all together." They watched as their 3 children played with their own children in the garden. Tyler's daughter was teaching Lily's twin boys how to climb the monkey bars. Emma's son was drawing pictures with colored chalk on the sidewalk. 6 grandchildren, Marcus marveled. "When I was lying on that street bleeding, I never could have imagined this." "They all know the story," Sarah noted. "And they all understand that they're part of something special. They know they have a responsibility to help others because so much good came from one act of helping." Indeed, the grandchildren had already started their own traditions of helping others. Even at their young ages, they volunteered at soup kitchens, visited elderly neighbors, and raised money for children's charities. Marcus's oldest granddaughter, Tyler's 12-year-old daughter Sophie, had started a program at her school to pair older students with younger ones who needed extra help with reading. When asked why she wanted to do this, she said, "My grandpa taught me that big kids should protect little kids. That's what families do." As the sun began to set over the memorial garden, more family members and friends joined them. It had become a tradition to gather here every year on the anniversary of the day everything changed, as they called it. Marcus looked around at the dozens of people who had become part of their extended family over the years. Former scholarship recipients who were now doctors, teachers, and business owners. Single parents who had received help during their darkest moments and had gone on to help others in turn. Community volunteers who had been inspired by Marcus and Sarah's example. "You know what the best part is?" Marcus said to Sarah as they watched the gathering of their chosen family. "What's that?" "It's still growing. Every person we help goes on to help someone else. Every child who grows up seeing this example learns to be a helper too. That day 25 years ago, I thought I was just saving 2 people. But really, I was starting something that will keep going long after we're gone." Sarah took his hand and smiled. "And it all started because you saw a scared little girl and couldn't walk away. And because you saw a bleeding stranger and chose to stay with him instead of just being grateful and walking away," Marcus replied. "We saved each other, Sarah. We've been saving each other every day since." As the evening celebration continued around them, Marcus and Sarah felt the deep satisfaction of a life well lived. They had faced tragedy, overcome challenges, and built something beautiful together. Most importantly, they had raised children and influenced a community to believe in the power of helping others. Their love story had begun with violence and fear, but it had grown into something that touched hundreds of lives. They had proven that sometimes the most ordinary people can create the most extraordinary legacies, simply by choosing courage over fear and love over indifference. The last words in their book, One Moment of Courage, perfectly captured their philosophy: heroes aren't born. They're made in the moment when an ordinary person decides that someone else's safety is more important than their own comfort. Everyone has the capacity to be a hero. You just have to choose it. And Marcus and Sarah chose it every single day for the rest of their lives. Their protector and the family he saved continued to protect and save others, creating an endless cycle of love, courage, and hope that would inspire their community for generations to come.